Alright guys, welcome back to another Shop Talk Tuesday. In this episode, we're going to continue that Forge series. Now, in previous years, in December, I would have made a set of videos called Vlogmas where I do daily uploads from December 1st through December 25th. But with this particular time of the year and with the series we have going on right now, I really wanted to continue the Forge series so that y'all could see the complete builds in each video, as opposed to breaking them into a bunch of separate videos throughout the week and y'all not being able to see the build from start to finish. So I decided to go ahead and continue the Forge series, how we've been doing it. If y'all would like me to do daily videos, y'all just let me know and maybe y'all go ahead and switch it up a little bit and do that. If y'all like me doing the Forge series, how we're doing it, let me know that too. Now guys, we are making a Yakut knife in this particular video. It is something I have never made before, but I'm really excited about making this knife and I think it's going to be really cool. Of course, if you looked at the thumbnail, you know it turned out pretty cool, but it might not be your most traditional version of this knife, but it is my version of it, and it is a very useful utility knife that I think is absolutely awesome. Y'all go ahead, sit back, relax, watch the forging process, and see how we turn this 1084 steel into a knife. Alright guys, let's go ahead and wrap this Shock Talk Tuesday up here with some close-ups of this awesome knife, plus some of the insights and things that I had to think through in order to make this Yakut knife become a Yakut knife. So make this 1084 become a knife. Things that I had to think about. Forging process and handle process. Starting with the forging process, of course, I've never made one of these, so it was thinking through how I was going to forge this particular section right here and at what step I needed to start forging that in the forging process. Plus, I knew that I wanted to do a fully convex side over here so that it's basically like a spoon. It's full convex on this side and then concave in the center. Well, very pointy, stabby spoon. Now, things that I had to think through were making sure that I could get this forged in, but I knew that I needed to go ahead and forge some of the profile in there, get that stuff done, so that all I had to do was start forging in the center, and then I went ahead and started forging the bevels on the sides to create that, you know, that spoon profile. So get the convex and the concave all in one. So start forging the profiles, and then what I ended up doing was I left the bottom part a little bit straighter because I knew that I was going to pinch it more. Now, that side has the actual sharpened edge. This side is not sharpened. So that's thicker on this side than this side. I knew that I was going to pinch this. And if you were to cross-section this, it would actually taper from the top down to the bottom, but with that C profile. So the top is thicker than, of course, the bottom, which I researched the cross sections and researched the way the knives are built, so I knew that I wanted to go that direction, but I knew that I was going to have to forge a little bit from this side. So, you know, forge in the center part, flip it over, and then start forging in the bevels from the back side, and then flip it back over and take that ball peen and start forging this side even more to start thinning out this edge more than we had this edge thinned out. So it was, you know, going through the process. Forge the profile, forge the center, then flip it over, forge the back side, then flip it over, and start forging this out and thinning it out. So I had that a little bit straighter because I knew I was going to thin this out and it was going to arc it back up a little bit. And that's what ended up happening. We got our little spear point profile on here. Really like this because you can easily use it to drill holes if you needed to. Plus, it's just a good profile. It's really symmetrical, especially with the handle back here. Now you might be thinking, well, that is a very basic handle, Eric. No, it's not. Yes, it can look that way, but the things that I had to think through on this particular knife with the handle profiling was just kind of confusing and weird all in one. So the front here, where the kind of bolster area is, the front cap, that's of course my Carta, and then we got our beautiful wood by Oleg here. But the things that I had to think through is this side of the blade is completely flat. This side is convexed. So two things had to happen. One, I had to make the guard to where one side was convexed and one side was flat, in order to make this actually fit and not have a gap on the front and not have a gap, let's see if I can get here, on the back. Maybe the light will show us. There we go. So for a real good fit up on the back side and on the front side, I had to make sure that I profiled it to match that. That was a pain in the butt by itself. Got that part done. And then profiling the actual shape of this was a pain in the butt again because the front side's flat and the back side's curved. So whenever you're trying to get the distance between the blade and the outside of this, and then the blade and the outside of this side is thicker than this side. Because if you take and you went straight down the center as if it was a flat blade, you still needed the profile to be right in order for everything to meet up how it's supposed to and be symmetrical. So it was a pain in the butt to try and figure out exactly how much space I wanted on this side right here. So that versus this. So of course you can see that's a little bit wider. But in order for the ergonomics to work right and the blade to be centered, I had to do that. So it was trying to figure out exactly where things were going to line up there. And then, of course, do a profile that was nice and clean and bring it as close to the dimensions of the blade as possible without actually touching anything. And it's cool because there is no gap in that. That is super tight. And I like it. You know, again, it was just thinking through the forging process, what steps that I need to go through in order to get the blade to look like this, and then what steps that I need to go through in order to make the handle fit right, look right, makes the bolster fit right and look right, and get everything nice and clean. It's a pain in the butt, but I love the way this knife looks, and I really love this wood because it goes from this dark to this brighter color right here, and I just think that that looks really cool, especially with the black little bolster area right there. But I think that's awesome. It kind of reminds me of the knives that people used to make with like the flint knap knives and the handles and everything like that. This reminds me of that style of knife, but also a Yakut. And I'm going to enjoy using this. This, we'll see if I end up selling it. Pretty much anything that I build is technically for sale, but I know that I'm going to be selling a lot of the Forge series knives, but I don't know about this one. This one I love. I made it in a way that I would want it, which is why I did the backside how it is, really rustic. I wanted it to look really classic. I didn't want some crazy shiny piece here. So we've got the area that had been really sanded, the area that kind of transitions up into. So there's a bunch of different grits that happened all the way down to this edge here. You know, the edge is actually 1,000 grit, and then it just works its way up to the different grits all the way up into that forged area right there. I don't know, it's just a aesthetic thing for me that I wanted to do, because I wanted it to look as close to a classic style, but within, you know, my style, all in that. Yeah, so that's what we did. Guys, that's the end of this video. If you would, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed and you're still here for some weird reason and you haven't subscribed, that's crazy, but subscribe. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all next time.